Hello YouTubers, Victorinox fan here on a windy fall day. Starting to get a little cooler out here. I don't know how long I can keep the outdoor reviews, but I'll definitely keep doing them as long as I can get this good lighting. My camera seems to work fantastic in good lighting, not so good in indoor lighting, especially in the evening. So, as you can tell, this is the Spyderco Balance. This is the second knife of the USN Pass Around, Canadian Spyderco USN Pass Around. And now it's time to put this up for review. As you can tell, it's designed by Ed Shemp, made in Seki City, Japan, with VG10 steel, carbon fiber handles, and stainless steel liners. Full stainless steel liners. Let me shoot some specifications for you. Overall length is about 4.4 inches. That's 113 mm. So let's do that. Close is about 2.69 inches, 68 mm. Your overall blade length, they say it's about 1.9 inches, 49 mm, but I think my measurements show just a tad smaller. And the cutting edge, they say, is 1.25 inches, 37 mm, but or 33. I can't read my own writing. But I think it's a little bit under 1.25 inches. Now, what's it called? Stock, they even said on the site is 2.5 mm. I measured it. It's 3 mm. Like up here, it's 3 millimeters. It tapers down very quickly to 2.5 and lower, but I saw it was 3 mm. And the overall weight is 1.4 ounces, which is pretty close to what I got on my scale. So, like I mentioned, most of the features: carbon fiber, VG10, Seki City made in Japan, polished steel liners, carbon 4-way positional pocket clip. These are all the funky technical specs you could all read online. But what do I think about this knife? It's a novelty knife, really. Now that's not saying that it's a poorly made knife, by no means. Spyderco's Japanese producers, Seki City, produce some of the best production value, like production quality knives at their cost. I think that the fit and finish in this knife is impeccable. The liners are perfectly polished, rounded, the carbon fiber is nice and smooth and lovely and polished. The blade, VG10, excellent heat treat. It's a great high quality steel. Good lockup, solid. This is, actually, there's a tiny bit of play, but I think, side to side, but I think I can tighten that with, if I tighten the pivot, it'll go away. Now, the build quality of this knife is very good. That's not the question. It's not a build issue. I think the design was more, I don't want to say gimmicky, but it was more for, you know, a unique collectible piece. I think this knife was designed to be a collectible piece, hence they have only made a few hundred of these, and they were pretty pricey. They're like 130 bucks. They did make a steel version, all steel frame lock, which is cheaper, but this carbon fiber version was a limited run, I think done mostly because it is more of a collectible design. Now, what does this paper say that it comes with? The education. So it explains definition of balance, the index finger's position of the choil, the cutting edge aligned with the forearm, moving the blade weight back center. So it's explaining a lot of Ed Shemp's design, and large spider hole, and some, you know, technical specs. But really what it is Spyderco has requirements for every knife to have a certain distance, a maximum and a minimum amount of distance from the pivot or to the hole. So what Ed Shemp had the idea was, what if he makes it equally symmetrical on the other side, creating this very unique looking pocket knife. A unique small looking pocket knife. Now, like a lot of Ed Shemp's designs, you're going to have very, very comfortable ergonomics. 3 fingers, solid. No jimping, but that's not necessary in a knife this small. But your hand really locks in. If you want to see it in like a just barely over 1 inch knife, really get some good power cuts, like this is as much leverage as you're going to get in such a tiny little knife as you can find on the market. It's very ergonomic for its size. Good design by Ed Shemp. Now, really, the only main complaint I can find about this knife really comes out to the fact that it's just a really small knife. It's barely 1.25 inches. So to give you, while the ergonomics are great and they can give you a lot of leverage, I find that I don't need that much leverage on such a small knife. And yeah, it's a fail-safe, but I usually want something a little bit larger, like even a PT. And the PT is tiny. The cutting edge of this knife is 2.25 inches. It's like an entire inch smaller on cutting edge. And this gives me still a better grip on the handle. And really, I can go 2.37 if I want a dedicated folder. But for something this small, I find that there's a limited amount of things you can cut. And for the cost, I don't think it's going to really see a lot of use, at least compared to my other knives. If I want to carry something that's small, which I do, I usually carry that. The cutting edge on the Victorinox Classic is actually longer. So if you're opening packages, tape, or you're, you know, cutting open a milk bag even, which we Canadians have, it's a milk bag opener, there's not a lot you could do with a 1.25 inch blade. Hence, I think that's why they made it such a small run. It's more of a style thing. So as you can probably tell, this is not my most favorite knife in my collection. It's kind of limiting for me. There's really little, like, yeah, it'll do my EDC test. Yeah, it'll do the test, but it's not going to do it as well as like a 3-inch Sebenzo or a 2 3/4. And a lot of places that you could carry this, I think you'd be better off carrying like a slip joint. And my dog is whining. 1 second, Rocky, be quiet. He wants to play. I'll wrap up this review and play with him. So, essentially, Rocky, dog is running through the legs. So, essentially, this is a cool, really high quality, collectible knife. I don't think this is the most functional design that Spyderco offers. You're probably better off going with a UKPK or what's the Spyderco Urban for really small EDC usages. You don't need a dedicated folder just for that much cutting edge. I like small knives, but this is too small. Still a really cool collectible piece, guys, so if you really do like the design, go for it. You're definitely getting a well-made piece. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this review informative. Nope, I didn't insult anybody. I mean no disrespect to Spyderco, because they did put this pass around, but cool knife, but not for me. Have a good one, guys. See you around. Peace.